game was requested by Cyberpunk Girl. It's a game focused on the events of the coronavirus breakout, how it may have started, and the response to it from various parties, but with a more comical twist. If I had to label it, I'd say it's a puzzle game, but it has various different levels to play. It will only run in windowed mode and works off a smaller aspect ratio, so if you put it into full screen you'll get some black edges either side, but it's not too noticeable. As said, it's a more humorous take on things that happened, so there are references and memes thrown in, such as the PewDiePie chair meme, the thank you Kanye meme, and a reference to Monty Python even. It goes through various theories on how COVID started, from the wackier conspiracies to the more normal ones, then takes a dig at certain politicians for how they approached it. There's also a part that references the confusion amongst the public of what was supposed to be done in the beginning, and I thought that bit was a little risky, but actually they managed to execute it without visible bias, so credit there. There was one point asking about the purpose of wearing a mask, and I said to hide identity. They played it off well by turning the person into Batman. Still, now there are a lot of varying opinions on COVID, and the purpose of this game was to approach the topic with a lighter touch, and keeping personal politics out of it helps a lot with that, so good job to the creator for keeping things in the middle. As said, there are a few digs at politicians and even a reference to Greta Thunberg in there as well, but it's a pretty light-hearted satire, and overall the jokes and references aren't risky and are very unlikely to rock any boats anytime soon. The gameplay itself is simple: arrow keys, space or enter seems to do exactly the same thing, and shift. You do various things from walking around and talking to people, to playing an object matching game, to playing Mario, and to doing an obstacle avoiding race level on a motorbike. The bike level was the only one with questionable controls, since pressing the up or down arrow usually only shifted you one lane. However, there were a couple of times in the middle lane where one touch of the arrow key would move you 2 lanes, and on one particular spot that caused me to hit an obstacle I would have otherwise missed on several attempts. It's a relatively short game with about 30 minutes gameplay. The art style is mostly pixelated, but there are Phoenix Wright style character previews that pop up in the bottom corner for dialogue. The environments are decently designed with variety in lighting and ambience where relevant. The music is fitting and varied at each stage of the story, and there are sound effects included as well. Each of the playable levels is relatively short, a couple of minutes each here and there, but it is possible to fail on a few of them. The game apparently includes cheats if you get stuck, but I didn't need to make use of them. The levels aren't that hard, and for all but one of them, the controls had nothing to do with any failures, it was just me making silly mistakes. You have save files as well, and I recommend saving on every opportunity, just because if you do fail a minigame you reload from a save file, and the saves mostly come just before a new minigame, so you'd have to restart from a previous one and do it again otherwise. This game was created by one person as far as I'm aware, and he works from a website called bdaygame.com, the link to which can be found in the description. He apparently does commissions to make games as presents for various occasions, so if that's something you might be interested in, you can play the game as a demo and hit him up. But to say it's a one-man job, it's a decently made game, and as mentioned, the humour sits in a good spot. I particularly liked the beginning playing as the Bat, before discount Bear Grylls popped up to ruin the Bat-Rat romance. It's a decent game with a shortish runtime and doesn't require too much in terms of skill, but it has a variety of minigames included and provides some mild comic relief and entertainment. It fits its purpose well, is decently made, so I'll give COVID Tale Ignorance a 7.5 out of 10.